Hello, this is Lex, and welcome to another episode of Lipstick and Liberation, a podcast where I, a 41-year-old Black woman who is a feminist and against all the other forms of oppression, talk to you about the political things that are going on in society, the social things, and anything that kind of comes to mind. I am here to talk to you guys about how we can work to end oppression on a micro level while we're working to end it politically. So thank you so much for coming back today. I really appreciate your ears. Anybody that takes time to stop by and listen and support me, I am so grateful for any of your support. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And as I say every week, so with my lipstick, as with misogyny, I always get the shade right. So we're going to start out with talking about, because it just happened, Eric Swalwell, has decided not to run for governor of California. And thank God, because it was so triggering and annoying watching people try to defend this man. We have got to get to a place where we will accept and make this like standard that men who cannot control themselves sexually and have no sexual discipline cannot hold public office. That's a low bar. Like, that shouldn't even be something controversial to say. If you're out here married and you're cheating on your wife, you should not be holding public office. Let's look at that Coldplay situation where those two CEOs, they were just seen on camera hugged up and they lost their jobs. Why don't we have an ethics thing going on in our elected offices where we get rid of people who cheat on their wives or husbands or partners? We need that. I don't trust you. If your wife can't trust you, if your husband can't trust you, I don't trust you. The days of Bill Clinton and Anthony Weiner are over. We're not doing that. We want universal health care. We want people to be able to have childcare. We want people to have paid maternity leave and paternity leave. We have real things on the agenda as Democrats that we need to get done. And if you are too horny to not assault your staff, to not send pictures to your staff of your junk, then you are too horny to hold office. Don't go for political office. Why are you running for political office if you don't have dick discipline? Why are we defending men who don't have dick discipline? It's a low bar. Men tell us that they are leaders, and then they're allowed to have this like cute character flaw of being cheaters and being so horny that they can never control themselves. No, we're not going for it anymore. If men can't control themselves, then we will just elect women. We're done with it. We're not going for it anymore. I don't want my agenda as a blue Democrat. I don't want that held up because somebody found out that you cheated on your wife or you are sexually harassing your staffers. We don't need that. We had President Obama. He didn't do that. Hillary Clinton, she didn't have any kind of scandal like that. Kamala Harris, she didn't have any kind of scandal like that. We can get candidates who are not horn dogs, who are not out here sexually assaulting people, which he is alleged to have done. But even if he did not do that, even if he did not sexually assault people, the fact that he cheated on his wife, the fact that he was out here sending those pictures to his staffers, which so many of you guys like try to defend stuff like that by saying everybody's grown. I don't understand why you guys have not read your workplace handbooks. Most of the people that listen to my podcast, you've been grown for a while. You've had a few jobs. You know that your boss cannot sexually proposition you because there is a difference in power. And you can't say no to your boss without fearing that you may lose your job or livelihood. It's not legal for them to do that for you. So I don't even want to hear these excuses about, oh, they were two grown adults. Oh, they went out with him. He was their boss. He was their boss. If men are leaders, which we know they are not, but if they are leaders, they have to follow the rules. If they want to be put in positions of power and keep women out of power, then the very least they can do is actually follow the rules that are arranged around their roles and statuses of power, which is that they cannot fraternize with people who work under them. And if you do, and if you get caught, there's no need for an investigation. I don't need you to go to criminal court. Stop saying innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty is for when people are asking if the government can punish them. That is for if you can go to jail. That is for if the government can fine you for committing a crime. That is not for if whether or not I want you to represent me in elected office. We need ethical standards in our elected offices. If we find out you cheat on your wife, you gotta go. We find out you cheat on your husband, you gotta go. No questions. I don't know. You gotta go. The American people and people on the left especially, we got real stuff that we want to get done. And I don't care that Republicans don't care. They're bad people. Republicans are bad people. We know that. They are bad people. And some of the people on this side are bad people. If you sat up there and you defended Eric Swalwell, you are a bad person. And we got to start telling people they're bad people again. I'm tired of everybody acting like everybody is justified in doing what they want to do. No, some of you are just bad people, and you need to hear it. If you're out here defending men who are cheating on their wives at the bottom of the totem pole of weirdness, up to sexual assault, you're a bad person, period. Because we can find somebody else. We don't need horny men to govern. We don't need that. That is something you're used to because of patriarchy. Patriarchy has y'all brains so fried that you actually think that a man cheating on his wife is still a trustworthy person because you don't think women are people. You think a man should be able to cheat on his wife because you don't think she's a person that deserves honesty and respect. You think it's his right to treat her however he wants to treat her. And I will tell you, let's even pivot away from Eric Swalwell, who good riddance, he's gone. Democratic Party, as a caucus, if we're going to be the party of women, then we need to start prioritizing men who have sexual discipline or stop electing men altogether. If they're not going to stop doing this, then they can't serve in office. But moving past that, when we talk about men being trustworthy or not when they cheat, let's look at Offset. Let's look at how Offset got shot in the behind recently because of behind a gambling debt that he didn't pay. And, men will victim blame women when women get essayed and say, well, why did you even go somewhere with him? Well, why were you even alone with that man? Haven't you heard about him? But then they will go and borrow money or let a person borrow money from them that cheats on their wife. Now, if a person cheats on their wife, that's a person they're legally contracted to be with. That is a person who, if they leave them, can split their life in half, affect whether or not they can see their children on a full-time basis living in the home. If he will risk his marriage, why do you think he's going to pay you your money back? Why? If you gave Offset some money and you know he's out here sleeping around and cheating and doing whatever else he was doing that made Cardi B leave him, then you're just stupid. You're dumb. Why would you think he was trustworthy? Like, that is what I'm saying about, that's how fried patriarchy has your brains. You actually think that a man who would cheat on somebody, his business partner in life, his wife, is a good person to loan money to. Yes, Offset should pay those people back. Absolutely. But those men are crazy. They thought because they were men that Offset was not going to play with them. It's okay if he plays with his wife. It's okay if he plays with his family. That's fine because they're not real people. But I'm a man, so he needs to give me my money back. And then this is another thing about how you know how men are afraid of each other. Dak comes on the internet talking about Offset owes him this money. You are an NFL player. Offset ain't strong. Offset is a rapper. You was too scared to get your money back from Offset. But when he gets shot, you want to come on the internet talking about he owes you money? I'm glad they aired him out. Please believe. But all those men that came forward and said that he owed them money, it just shows you how much men are scared of each other. As much as they try to make fun of women for not wanting to date men, not wanting to live with men anymore, they too scared to get $8,000 back from each other. That let other men owed them money and they was too scared to ask for it. Kept on hanging out with them, still friends with them to this day, because that's how cowardly men are. They are scared of each other. They will gaslight women and pretend like women shouldn't be afraid to be around them. Women shouldn't be afraid to live with them. They don't even want to live with each other. They are too scared to ask each other for money that they owe each other because they know that a man might escalate to lethal, that he's more likely to escalate to lethal about something like that. So they just let each other do whatever. That's why I say they are in a pact together, not to hold each other accountable. They're scared of each other. For as much as they try to act like nobody else should be scared of them, everybody's misjudging them, people don't give them a chance, nobody cares about them, they're scared of each other. They're the number one unalivers of everybody, including each other. And when you are a man and you are loaning money to a man and you know he cheated on his wife, you're assuming that he's going to treat you better because you're a man. And honestly, if he don't give you the money back, you deserve what you get because he already showed you he's not trustworthy. He's not a trustworthy person. But like I said, patriarchy has you guys' brains fried so much that you actually think that a man who cannot be faithful to his wife, who cannot keep his home together, who cannot keep his dick in his pants, is actually somebody we should care about if he gets kicked out of office. And I don't. I literally don't. Men have it so easy. I get offered sex all the time. All the time. Men get offered sex and they got to take it. Men don't even get offered sex. They will go out and just send pics of their dicks to people. People have given them no indication that they want to see it. You'll be on your first conversation with a man and he'll send you his dick. They're so proud of these things. They're so proud of their dicks. And like, they're constantly pursuing sex. Constantly. The undisciplined ones. There's a few that's disciplined. I mean, or smart enough not to let their dick derail their careers, which God, again, barring hell. But that's what's crazy. As women, we are constantly offered sex. And we are able to be more disciplined about sex than men who aren't offered it as much, instead try to push it on others, which is why we have sexual harassment laws, because they're so freaked out and not getting offered sex, they're just going around, hey, you want to see my dick? You want to see my dick? You want to see my dick? No, nobody wants to see that. We don't want to see it. And why are you trying to pressure somebody to want to have sex with you? And you have a wife at home who probably doesn't want to have sex with you because you did not do anything around the house to make her feel relaxed enough to have sex. But you want to come to work and be sending everybody dick pics? DMing people your dick? We don't want to see your dick. The only dicks I want to see are ones where I have a relationship with that person. I already like them. I don't want to see a free range dick. Most women don't want to see a free range dick. But men are so freaked out and weird and horny that they literally cannot stop themselves from trying to force themselves sexually on women, which is, again, why we have sexual harassment laws. And it's insane. So if men can't get it together, then we need to start electing women to these offices. We're not too emotional. We run households. We're not the ones out here blowing up agendas because we can't keep our pants up. So I'm asking you to stop making excuses for men. Stop making excuses for their lack of sexual discipline. If a man is too freaked out to not send his dick to people, he's too freaked out to be in elected office. Low bar. Low bar. We can do that. We can say that. Too freaked out. Too freaked out. You are too undisciplined. You talking about giving somebody all this privilege who is willing to throw away half of his assets and time with his family for a roll in the hay. Why would you want to entrust him with anything that comes with the public good? Why? A man like that is easily bribed. Easily bribed. He's not going to make a good leader. A man who cannot control himself is not a good leader. Let's try to hold on to that. Because like I said, our brains are so fried by patriarchy. You're actually struggling to believe that a man who will do anything to get laid, anything, including jeopardize his job and his marriage, you're struggling to believe that that person cannot be a good leader and should not be in charge of the public good, should not be in charge of making legislative decisions. A man that can be easily bribed by something as excessive and freely given out as sex. Come on now. Put your thinking caps on. Take the patriarchy hat off and put your real thinking cap on. If you just use your logic, you know it's bullshit. You know that it's bullshit. Now, we got to start calling the bullshit out. Our society is going to hell because of this bullshit. We got a pedophile president, allegedly, because of this bullshit. Yeah, the people on the right tolerate it. They do. But I saw people on the left trying to defend Eric Swalwell. We got a lot to do. We got a lot of reckoning to do. Because a lot of you people, y'all don't believe in anything. Y'all really don't believe in anything. You don't have any standards. You don't have any morals. We can run other people. And we can't just say that we are better than Donald Trump and the Republicans. We have to actually be better than them. We have to actually demand more. We have to actually be what we're talking about. And so having a standard that nobody that is sleeping around and they're married and they're sleeping around with staffers, which is illegal, can hold office, it's not that high of a standard. They don't have to follow it. They're the ones over there pretending to be Christian, pretending to be holy. Why don't we actually be good and moral people, proving that you don't need a religious deity that you can ignore and just use to invoke and try to get power? That you just need to be a good person. Why can't we just be good people? Why? It blows my mind that we can't just sit over here and say, hey, it's very logical. Hey, if you're sleeping around, we can't trust you with public office. We have to be willing to evolve. We cannot be what we were before. We have to. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Again, logic, people. Unfry your brain. It does not make sense. It does not make sense to trust a man who cheats on his wife. Does not make sense to be giving offset money when you know he's cheating on his wife, now you know he's got a gambling problem, why would you be giving him money and you're scared to ask for it back? It does not make sense to give public elected office with all the privileges that comes with that, as well as all the power and decision making, to a person who is willing to throw his career and marriage away to send somebody a dick pic on Snapchat. It makes no sense. A person being a man does not make them immune to criticism about their lack of sexual discipline. They should be criticized even more. And I'm going to leave you guys with that on Eric Swalwell. Thank you for getting out of the race. And go get some help because you're weird and freaked out. And I hope his victims get justice. I hope something happens. He really did all that stuff to those women. And I do believe survivors. I hope that they get justice. Because I hope his wife leaves too. Because, ugh, yuck. Yuck. Get rid of him. Get rid of that loser. God. We got to do better. Our bar is too low for men. We have to do better. It's ridiculous. I shouldn't even be having to spend 20 minutes talking about this. It's open and shut. It should be open and shut that this is not even a discussion. Offset, don't loan him money. Eric Swalwell, no office. Moving on. And no wife either. But moving on. I wanted to also talk about tonight, guys, because I think this is also something that is something we really need to reflect on as a community. I'm talking to black people right now. There might be some white people that care, but I'm talking to black people. Chris Brown and Usher going on this tour together. I didn't expect better of us. I will say that. I knew y'all was going to lose y'all mind about this tour because people are looking for some kind of joy right now. But Usher just got done defending Diddy, who we saw on tape beat up Cassie. And I'm having such a hard time with people. You know, they want evidence. So you get evidence of how terrible these men are. And then you still don't hold people accountable for continuing to support them. Because now, not only is Usher supporting Diddy, who's a woman beater, amongst other things. That's like one thing. But now he's also going on tour with Chris Brown, who is a woman beater, who has an open assault case right now in the UK. And it really blows my mind because it's black women that support Chris Brown. How do y'all feel comfortable giving money to abusers? But I know it's Christianity. The people that fall into that stuff are people who have taught themselves that they don't have to care about abuse. And we got that because we got Christianity from our original abusers, our slave masters. And the way they taught us to interact with Christianity is intentionally flawed. They taught us to interact with Christianity in a way that we are supposed to forgive people even if they don't apologize, because they never intended to apologize for enslaving us. They never intended to apologize for Jim Crow. The Bible, and let me tell you, I am a lapsed Christian. I've been out of the church. But if you guys know me, anything I'm into, I'm into. When I was Christian, I was all the way in that. I was in the Bible. I read the Bible front to back. They don't tell you in the Bible to forgive people who continue to sin. They do not. There's parts of the Bible where they specifically address that you have to repent and pay penance to be forgiven. Forgiveness is not automatic. Even to accept Jesus, you have to say that you're a sinner and try to change your ways. But the way that black people use forgiveness is the way they inherited from white people, showing them that forgiveness is you just don't do anything. Somebody does something terrible to you, you just don't do anything. You let it go. You be the bigger person. Because that's what they expected us to do. They never did that. Somebody, if you was black and you went to the store and you told a white person they gave you the wrong change back, they would lynch you. They would literally hang you in a tree for telling them that they gave, and they would have given you the wrong change. They would be right. But you were supposed to go on with the rest of your life and forgive the white people that put your daddy in a tree because he told them that, rightfully so, that they gave him the wrong change. Because you don't have any power in society. That is what Christianity trained you for, not to have power in society. And that is why y'all sit up there and say, well, how can white Christians support Donald Trump? Because they're using the same BS logic that you're using to continue to support abusers in your community. As long as he's doing something for me that I like, I don't have to care about it. God's the only judge. You guys said that only God can judge. Only God can judge means that only God can send you to heaven or hell. That does not mean that somebody who is terrible gets to stay in community with you, stay in leadership roles, because only God can judge them. The reason that church is a community is so we can hold each other accountable. When Jesus talks about forgiveness, accountability is built into forgiveness. So if a person does not repent and pay penance, you don't have to forgive them. But when black people were in a society and powerless, the only thing that they could believe in is that we have to forgive because we're going to get some pie in the sky. We're going to be rewarded later if we forgive these people. And that toxicity has seeped into our community. And the black abusers that we have, whether they be male, female, whatever, they are using that. They know because they have grown up in the culture, the church culture that we've grown up in. And they know that we will let people get away with things if God is, oh, God, only God can judge. Oh, he didn't beat a woman for 10 minutes. We have to forgive him. You don't. I'm here to tell you don't. If a man put his hands on you and then he didn't put his, if you're black and you believe that, I'm here to free you of that. Go to your Bible. You don't have to forgive somebody who did you wrong and did not repent. You don't. Go read your Bible again. You do not. Jesus talks about it. You don't have to. You want the Bible scriptures? I'm going to actually probably put them on this video. You don't have to. And some of y'all want to because you don't want to hold people accountable. Some of y'all do not want to hold people accountable because you're not a good person. Let's talk about it because like I said, we're going to start calling people bad people. If you are a woman and you are giving money to men who you know beat women, you are a bad person. Let's start there. You got to pay your taxes. You got to go to work. We live in a society where there's a lot of things that you can't control. You can control whether or not you go to a concert of a woman beater. You absolutely can. You're choosing to. And you know what? If you're choosing to, then just say you don't care about women getting beat. Stand in it. Own it. Stand on it. But don't try to go to this concert and then try to act like you're this moral, righteous person. You're this Christian person. It's loving and forgiving to give somebody money so they can keep beating women. That's not of God. It's not at all. I will tell you that as a lapsed Christian with great confidence. It is not of God for you to go and give money to people who do evil, knowing that they do evil because you enjoy their art and craft. You just can't separate yourself from it. That's a personal character flaw that you have that you're not willing to work on. And no, everybody's not going to do it. I get that. I accept that. That's one thing I've had to accept. Like when we were growing up, we really thought that everybody was going to grow up and try to be a good person. A lot of people are not good people. That's the reality. And we don't have to pretend they're good people. I'm not going to pretend you're a good person, on this matter. Maybe you're a good person in other areas of life. I'm not going to pretend you're a good person when it comes to the safety of women. If you're giving money to people that beat up women and they beat up women, you've seen decades of history of them beating people up and putting their hands on people. You're not a good person. You're not a safe person. And people are right to call you that. It's disturbing. I've seen people who are therapists who are out here supporting this known woman abuser, a person who went to anger management himself and got kicked out of anger management for throwing a rock through his mom's car. You can't stand on business. And I will never like people who can't stand on business. I just never will. So that's me. That's something that the black community needs to work out. That is a generational curse that we are passing down, this belief that it's okay for abusers to thrive because only God can judge them. You can do better. You can do better. You're choosing not to do better. And you're hurting our community. You're hurting your sons. Your sons are watching you not hold people accountable. You wonder why you're raising garbage sons. That's why. They're watching you. They're watching you use the Bible to cloak people so you can go to an R&B concert. They're watching and they see you. And you can't sit up and argue and say you don't see how white Christians support Donald Trump when you a black Christian supporting some abusers in your own community. Because you do see. That's your twin. They taught you. You got it from them, baby. That's how it's happening. You learned from the original abusers how to excuse abuse to get what you want, to get what you feel that you should have, to not stand on business because your entertainment and your comfort is far more important than that woman that's getting beat on because you spent $500 and gave that person some more money to pay their lawyers to get off so they could beat the next woman. That's it. You are just like them. Like I said, it's twin how you been with Trump supporters. You are not different than them. And you're going to have to sit with that and own that. And maybe you don't care. And I can't make you care, but I can tell you the truth. And that's always what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you the truth about yourself. That's what we're doing here. We're not going to let patriarchy tell us that men can change from being woman beaters by not doing anything different. Okay? Because we have had people who have stopped those behaviors. It's very rare. It's very rare. I talk about Bobby Brown. People will say, how can you listen to Bobby Brown? Bobby Brown actually turned his life around. Bobby Brown has done reparative work because you're supposed to do that. That's part of paying penance. He has opened domestic violence shelters and homes and supported them. because of the loss of his daughter and because of what he did in his own past. And he doesn't have any new reports. You ain't heard nothing about Bobby Brown going up upside nobody's head in a long, long time. So I think if somebody wants to forgive him, that's fine, because he actually did what he was supposed to do to get forgiveness. You guys, we want to forgive people that just didn't beat somebody for 10 minutes because that's easiest for you, because you're not used to holding people accountable. You don't know how to stay mad at nobody because you came from a line and a generation of people who were not allowed to stay mad at their abusers. And so you don't know how to do it. And you don't want to take the time to learn how to do it because it's just easier to not hold people accountable. But like I said, I'm just going to tell you the truth about yourself on that one. You can sit with it. You can think about, you still buy them concert tickets. You still buy them concert tickets. But just hold on to the fact that you're choosing to do that, and you know where that money is going, and you know what that money is going to be used for. And just sit with it. Just sit with that. That's on you. That's on you. And the last thing that I really want to talk about tonight before I get off of here is prioritizing where you put your energy when you are doing work towards spreading messages of inclusion or fighting oppression. Understand that some of the people that you're arguing with or trying to change the mind of, their minds are not going to change, and you're putting your energy in places that is not worth it. I will never say that it is not worth it overall to talk to people who disagree. I have turned around on several topics in my life. I've turned around on being homophobic. I've turned around on hitting children. I have turned around on, like I said, I was a super Christian, and I'm not Christian anymore. I practice ancestor worship, but I do still believe in doing moral or right things. But I cannot be a part of a community that is in collusion to not hold abusers accountable, which we know by and large that community is. So I've changed my mind on things, and thankfully it's because people talk to me and never gave up on me. But I listen to them, and I go and look, and I go and read, and I come back. It's a lot of people out there that they just want an argument just for the sake of. They don't care. They don't want to be better people. They don't care about you as a person. Like, I have had people say things like to try to, like, when I was talking about the Eric Swalwell, the stuff with Twitter, somebody said, "I'm sorry someone cheated on you." And like, I was kind of blown away, because I'm like, do you have to be traumatized to like not like cheaters or not think cheaters are good leaders? Because I don't think you do. And I realized this person was just trying to hurt me. They didn't care. Of course, it's a fake apology. It's disingenuous. And it made me just really realize that some people, they just want to harm you for not thinking like they do. And you have to like be able to step back, guys. It's not easy to be a person. You know, I've been off and on in my life a person who has said and been outspoken about stuff that I really don't like. I've never been quiet. Like, I was one of the first people that I knew that quit listening to R. Kelly and start yelling at people about listening to R. Kelly. Like, I quit R. Kelly during the Chocolate Factory. I think I've probably said that a million times on this podcast. So I know what it's like to be unpopular. I know what it's like to get ahead of people with quitting people. Kanye West, I quit him in 2009. Like, it's not easy, but you also got to realize too that everybody's not ready to be where you are. Sometimes you're ahead of the curve on things, and you got to save your energy and your peace. And I've learned to understand when people are just trying to hurt me, when people don't want to hear it, and be able to pick it up and walk away. But I'm always going to state my piece. It's so important because, especially today, when I ran into a woman that needed support, I gave it to her. You never know who's listening to you or who sees you standing up, even as all the people who are against you are telling you to shut up and be quiet, who needs what you're saying. You never know. So it is hard. And I want to say that to you in solidarity for any other women out here who are activists, because I know a lot of women out here, especially right now, are out here in spaces, making their opinion known, speaking up, fighting for things, to know that sometimes you're not going to get through to people. Or maybe it's better to say that sometimes you're not going to get through to everybody you want. But if something's wrong, you still owe it to yourself to say something, to not be quiet about it. We live in a society that's quiet about domestic violence, quiet about abuse. And we know why we're quiet about those things, because it's dangerous. But if people didn't speak up about things that were dangerous, we wouldn't have rights as women. I wouldn't have rights as a Black person. We owe it to the people that came before us to still speak up, even when everybody else can't see it. If you see it and it's wrong, say something. We owe it to the next generation. I owe it to my son. I won't sit back and let my son grow up in a world where he is to think that he can't be disciplined sexually and that he can still be a good leader by being a liar and a cheater. I won't. I refuse. So I ask that you guys do the same thing. If you know something is wrong, speak up about it. Oppression is wrong. Hurting others is wrong. Supporting people that you know do those things is wrong. Please speak up about it. We can make a better world. We know about the disgusting things that have happened that we have come from. We can make it better. We just have to decide enough is enough. And I'm here to say enough is enough with running men on the Democratic ticket. I can control the Republicans, but I'm not supporting any Democrats who do things like what Eric Swalwell did. I'm not giving my money to any music artists or anybody like that, any entertainers that are hurting people, and I find out they're hurting people and I know that my money could go towards harming someone else. I'm not doing it. Like, let's be better people. Let's be better people. I don't think that that's a lot to ask. So as we leave this week, ladies, I just want to affirm for you guys, because I know sometimes that bad things happen and people say bad things to you. You are beautiful. You are worthwhile. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you found some time this week to love on yourself, to go to the gym, to eat what you wanted to eat, to lay down, to rest, to get a massage, whatever it is that you do to unwind. I hope you found it. And if you didn't, you make some time this week. Remember, you can't run on an empty battery. We are the mothers of the world. We are the protectors of the world. Whatever role you are embodying as a woman, you need rest and you need to be cared for. And if nobody else is doing that for you, which I'm a single woman, I have to look out for myself. And that's been interesting because I grew up with a very protective father and family and lots of siblings. So it's been a journey learning how to take care of myself. But I encourage you to do so because my life has been so much better because of it. And I want whatever good is happening to me, I want that to happen to you too. So thank you guys so much for listening in. I hope you will take some of the things I said and go out and try to make the world a better place, because I believe we can. As bad as it is now, I really believe that we have a chance to be better. Let's take that chance together.